Hello friends, in this video we are going to make a clicker game in Scratch. Let me run the game and show you what the game is all about. So we need to catch the mouse. We need to keep clicking on it until the timer runs out, and you just saw that we move to another level, and as we move to another level, a level up message pops up and our backdrop changes. And this is a multi-level game with a timer and a score. And now we see that we have a game over slide here. So that slide is displayed and says that congratulations, you have reached level 5. So now let's move on to see how we can make this game on Scratch. So we are making a clicker game here. First we will add our sprite and our backdrop. Okay, this is our sprite. Let's add our backdrop. Let's add the bedroom one as a backdrop. Now our clicker game is that we need to catch the mouse. Now let's go ahead and add the event block. Event block helps the computer know when to start the code. It happens something external and detects it, and then it triggers the code. So as it is a clicker game, we will drag out the event block when this sprite is clicked, and then we want to change the location of the sprite. So we'll just drag out go to random position. We also want to change something in the looks. Let's first add a costume here. So we already have a costume here, but let's add another costume of our choice. I'll just duplicate by right clicking it, and then I'll just go into the paint section here. I'll get the color red here, and then I'll just make certain lines around here which just shows that the mouse is caught. Change the name of the costume. Let's call it caught. And now I'll go back to the code. I'll say I want to switch the costume to caught, and then I want to wait for a bit. So I'll just drag out the wait block. I'll go to controls. I have a wait block here. I'll just wait for 0.2 seconds, and then I'll again switch back to the original costume, which is our mouse 1A, and then I'll go to a random position, and I also want to play a sound at the very start. So let's play the sound here. Let's play the sound pop here. So now let's test our game. Let me enable the sound. Let's test the game. So we see that there is a sound and there is also a costume change, and it moves to a random position. Now the second thing that we need to do in this game is that we need to add a score. So whenever you are adding a score, you want to make a variable. Variables are like a box. They store information, and then you can use it for later. You can use it later, and you can also change it. So let's make a variable score here, and we can go ahead and then set the score at the start of the game. So for setting the score at the start of the game, we'll need the event block that tells us the game has started, which is green flag is clicked. We set score to 0 at the start of the game, and then we change the score by 1 whenever the mouse is clicked. So now when we click the mouse, the score changes, the score increases. Now the next step is to add levels, to add a timer in our game. So let's go ahead and add a timer here. First of all, again, to add a timer, we need to make another variable, that is timer, where we can store the current value of the timer. Now we want to set the timer at the start of the game. So we set the timer to 20 at the start of the game, and then we want to keep on increasing the timer. So we'll again go to the events, the control block, and we'll drag out a forever loop. Loops help us do things again and again. So we'll drag out the forever block, and then inside the forever block, we'll wait for 1 second, and then we'll change the timer by -1. What this will do is that it will go again into it will keep going into the forever block again and again. If you can see this arrow, it keeps doing this again and again. It waits for 1 second, changes the timer by -1, and decreases this timer. I can place this timer here, and let's try playing a game. So we see that the timer is decreasing. Now what we can do is we can add a condition where the timer needs to stop when it gets 0. So for that, we will need conditionals. Let's drag out a if and then block from the controls. Conditionals always needs to be inside a forever block because it needs to check things again and again. And you see that now the timer is going into negative. We want to stop the game when the timer becomes 0. So let's drag out the operator is equal to, and let's go to the variables and drag out timer. And when the timer is equal to 0, we want to stop all. So let's go to the control section here, and let's stop everything. Okay, now let's test your game. And for testing purposes, we can set the time at start to 5 so that we can see. Now you see 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And when 0, everything stops in your game. Now you can also display a game over backdrop. So let's go to the backdrop section here. Let's go to the stage section here. Let's go to the backdrops over here. It will show all the backdrops, existing backdrops. Let's add another backdrop here. We'll duplicate the existing backdrop and we'll add here a text that says game over. We can change the size of this game over. You can make it a little huge, place it in the center, and you can also change the color. I like the color black. You can change it according to yourself. Now I'll just rename this backdrop to game over. And then I'll go back again to the code. Let's go to the mouse here and let's go to the looks and switch the backdrop to game over when the timer is equal to 0, and also switch the backdrop to the original backdrop as the game starts. Now let's run the game again. Okay, and the game over. Now we can also add a winning condition here. So let's go ahead and check that if score is greater than a certain number, we want to win the game. So we can go into the control operators again, and we can drag on the greater than operator. We can go into variable, we can drag out score, and we can say that if the score is greater than 5, then let's switch the backdrop to a winning backdrop. We can go again to the stage backdrops. We can maybe go and add another backdrop as well if we want, which shows some party thing, and then we can just write here a text that you win. We can increase the size of it, and we can rename the backdrop to you win. Let's go back to the code. Let's go back to the mouse here, and we can switch the backdrop to you win whenever we win the game, which is score is greater than 5, and then we can go into controls, and we also have to stop everything from running. So now let's press the green flag again, and let's test the game again. So the timer decrease and game over. Let's check the winning condition. Okay, so we need to increase the timer for us to win. So let's set the timer to 20, and let's again test our game. You can definitely change the winning condition to a bigger number if you want, and that will make your game more complicated. And so we display the backdrop of you win. So this is our first part of the clicker game. If you want to add levels to your clicker game, you can definitely watch our next part on this, where we will add levels in our game. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please press the like button and please subscribe to our channel. So that's it for today, and let's meet next time.